Hi, my name's Chloe and I'm here with the Empowered Forum. Millie, and I'm a member of the Empowered Forum. I think this has changed a lot over time. So when I initially thought of recovery, I thought about recovery being getting back to how I was before I got unwell. Now I would frame recovery more as kind of more about my overall quality of life, looking at my life as a whole and where my eating disorder fits into that. Recovery for me, it's not linear. It's all sorts of different feelings. It's ongoing. It can be messy. It can be empowering. It can be all over the show. It can feel something that I'm in control of sometimes, and sometimes it can feel really daunting again. So it's a really small word for a very big feeling for me. I am in control of the eating disorder, and the eating disorder is not in control of me, and that I have an overall good quality of life in all areas of it. So it's not just recovery is not just focusing on food and that side of things, but it's my life as a whole. I'd had enough of feeling how I was feeling, and I was scared about feeling worse, and I wanted to ask for help, which isn't something I find easy. I try and take on everything myself. I try and deal with everything myself, and I'm everyone else's problem fixer. So for me, I knew I had to ask for help, because this was one thing that the more I tried to help myself, the further I was getting into it. And so I needed help. And I'm a mum. I have a little boy. I have responsibilities. I have people who depend on me. And I knew that I needed to do something before it got to a point where I was letting other people down around me. So my recovery, I would say, has been very ongoing for a number of years, quite a few years now. So sort of pre-COVID and to now. I'd say my recovery has been very up and down, but over the last 5 or so years, the ups and downs have been slightly less significant in size. So yeah, it's definitely been a journey in that sense. It has not been a linear recovery, and it's a choice that I make consciously every day, and that if it does wobble, I have to consciously choose that again. Yeah, I think prior to even asking for help, when I knew there was a problem, I had absolutely tried to try every single trick in the book of what can I do that's better, what else can I focus on. It can't just be about restricting food, for example. Maybe I could try something else. I could join a club. I could research this. I could try working out. I feel good about myself. But for me, there was an underlying issue there, and I knew I needed to get some help. And even after coming away from the community therapy that I received, it's still not been one recovery and we're good to go. There's moments where I'm very much still in recovery, and I think it will be an ongoing thing. I've had different things that have motivated me throughout my recovery so far, and it's an ongoing thing, but I think at this point my motivation is now like the way my life looks, and that I wouldn't want that to go back to being completely consumed by my eating disorder. But over the course of my recovery so far, there have been different motivations for me, and my degree was a big motivation for me. Something switched for me when I started to care for myself. I started to love myself. I always put myself at the bottom of everyone else's list, and I made sure everyone else was okay first. And through the therapy that I received in Macclesfield, I was able to find a strength within myself, recognise me and realise that actually I'm okay as a person, and I should care more about me so that I can be what I want to be for other people. Everything is perfect and I can do absolutely everything. I can eat any type of food, I can do any situation without any thoughts or feelings, and kind of reframing that as just like looking slightly less far ahead, but being more like, what do I need to do now for what I want to achieve? Like, I just need to eat enough to do my degree. So I kind of really took it back to basics. and just allowed myself to just make sure I was getting the nutrition I needed to get my degree, and that was kind of step one, and then other things have trickled in alongside that.
So along the way now, my recovery it's shifted. I now educate myself on food. I used to be afraid of food. As crazy as it could sound to some people, I used to have a fear of food. Now I am quite obsessive with it, in the fact that I've educated myself on nutrition to make sure I'm fueling myself, in making sure that day to day I am taking care of myself. The recovery side of it is that can also become a bit obsessive sometimes, but I'm in a better place than I was, and I'm trying to care about myself and do better for me.
I would say that I also felt like that, and I have surprised myself. So even if you don't think that things will get better, you might find that they do. Going one day at a time, I know it sounds a bit like a common thing that you've probably heard, but going one day at a time or 1 hour at a time does really help, and kind of just focusing on that one next step or that one next thing that you want to be able to do, and looking at how you can get there. I used to very much be kind of like everything is going really, really well, or everything is going really, really awful, and I kind of used to only function in, I would say, in either of those modes. And so kind of being like, actually some things can be going really well and some things can be going not so well, and those things can coexist, has really helped me.
What I'd say to somebody who doesn't feel that they can is it's okay if it feels a bit messy and you're not entirely sure where it's all going, or you haven't got the answers right there and then. That's going to happen, and it still happens to the rest of us. You know, there's days where I question everything I'm still doing, but as long as we're just taking the next step, that's all we can do. You don't need to be completely better. You don't need to have the expectation in yourself that you are going to just be better upon discharge or upon walking away from the therapy or whatever it is you're doing. It's an ongoing process, and there's people out there who can support you with that, and you'd be surprised. The more you can talk about it, the more people can potentially relate to it. There's only this week alone, there's people I've met and I've known for the last 6 months, and I found out that 2 of them have been inpatients. One of them is they've got their granddaughter's got an eating disorder, and they don't know who to talk to about it. I'm talking about it more. I've been surrounded by these people and been absolutely unaware of it. Likewise, they have me.
Even if not everything is going really, really well, you can build upon maybe the smaller things that are going well.
It's empowering, finding other people to share that journey with. But yeah, somebody that doesn't feel that they can recover, they can. They just have to be patient with themselves. They have to be kind to themselves, and just know that some days are going to feel worse than others, but good days are coming.